Alright, let's go ahead and look for the last game of the night. And we've got black against a 1460. And we've got d4. This is the Trumpowski attack. I believe I just play this normally. Normal King's Indian. Now this is new. I have to take this. I think I'm still gonna play the rest of this kind of normal and just say like, you know, you've given me the e-file and I'm gonna attack you down that e-file. Let's go ahead and castle. I could play here. Let's go ahead and do that. I mean, I would love for him to play this and let me take and open up that file. This queen comes out to hit that. I feel like that doesn't really do too much though, because my queen is already defending it. He's also hitting this pawn, so I need to be a bit careful about that. Let's just develop the knight. That move doesn't do much either, in my opinion. He's preparing to castle, so I'm gonna play my bishop out here, and I'm not hanging the b pawn anymore. And if takes, takes, and then I'll come here and hit his queen. Okay. So he plays his knight there. I don't know if I want to play my knight or my rook here yet, because that walks into this pin. I might try and come here, and then at some point come here, perhaps. I kind of like that. I think his queen is going to move here, maybe, yeah. I could take here, and then if he takes here, then I can take there, so he's not going to do that. He would take here, and then I could play here, but he just takes, and I take, and then he recaptures, and I'm down a pawn. And he's got a really strong central pawn push. So let's just defend the knight. I don't really like this. It kind of weakens my light squares a lot. Okay, do I want to take? If I drop my bishop back, then he traps it, so that's out of the question. I could play here, which is not bad, and try and get in like here, here eventually, or even here. I could also try and trade off his bishop, which is his most active piece. Let's try and do that. And I'm down more than 2 minutes on the clock again. How is everyone playing so goddamn fast? Maybe I need to move to a slower time control. But these games already take like a while, so I don't know if I want to do that. was gonna say maybe I play c5, but that drops the knight here. Okay, well that allows me to move my knight here, which is a pretty strong square for it, I think. And he's trying to trade it off. Could repeat moves. I don't want to though. I could play pawn here. I could play pawn here. And where does this queen go after that? Can't come here, can't come here. Can't go to any of these squares. I can only go to that one. And then I'm not sure what I do after that. Let's just play it. I'm wasting too much time. I could play here, but then he just goes back. Now I could play here. And he still can't take that. My knight has no good squares unless I'm trading. This does leave my a pawn. I don't know, this leaves my pawns kind of weak. I'm not sure this was the right way to play this. Do I take this way or this way? I like the idea of getting the b file open. So I think I'm going to take this way. Where is this queen going to move? Probably here. Oh, he moves back. He's hitting this pawn now, which is defended. So let's go ahead and play rook b8. Rook a to b8. Prepare to double. I like this pawn actually being doubled. It's preventing his knight from coming in on these squares, which is nice. He's gonna have to play this move at some point. That's his pawn break. He plays that one though. I don't know if that is good. If I take and he recaptures and this pawn is hanging, I think though if I just ignore it and he takes, then I can bring my rook in and I'm infiltrating. And I can recapture if I want. Which probably I do want to do. Maybe I should have recaptured first, yeah, because now he has that. So here, I think that's good for me though, because that allows me to get my rooks doubled on his 7th rank. So he's hitting this pawn, which is defended, and this pawn, which is defended. So let's come here, and then I can play my other rook there. These pawns are definitely dangerous for sure. I gotta be careful about that. Those could decide the game. My time is probably gonna decide the game too. Well, I can trade. I think I have to trade, right? Can't take this, can't take this. I could come back here, but that doesn't seem good. I could play here and then trade and be on his second rank, which is probably the best way to do it. Or I could trade and come here. That might be better. Let's go with that. I like that I still control the only open file. I gotta get my queen onto his side as well. That's an interesting move. Doesn't that allow me to win the pawn? But then he gets his rook on that file. I don't want to do that. I don't want to allow his rook or his queen any play there. I'm thinking I come here. It does drop this pawn. And then I could play, I don't know. Don't have a lot of time to figure it out. I need to get my queen in. Let's go here. I can try and play here. And I'm still defending this pawn for now. I should also open up my bishop, although that does allow his knight to come in. So maybe I move my bishop instead along one of these two. He's going for a queen trade. Let's say that I said no. He takes the pawn, and then I come here perhaps, and then he gives a check and I block, and then I come here and I try and win pawns and possibly checkmate. Alright, this is probably a blunder, but let's go for it. He can win this pawn too. And then he has a passed outside pawn, which is very dangerous, but my queen will hopefully be wreaking havoc. Oh, he's going to win this pawn. That is not good for sure. I didn't think about that. Well, now his knight is going to move because that pawn that was blocking him is gone, and I don't really have much because he's going to be defending this pawn with his queen once his knight moves, or he'll play there. Let's try and kick his queen, or actually let's start winning pawns perhaps. Try and win this pawn. He's trying to come here, and I don't think I have a way of stopping that, do I? I should have seen that. Do I have a way of preventing that? No. I don't. I don't see one, because he's covering this. Alright, good game. It's rough. See what I should have done. All right. Should I have taken here? Was that the move? That is good, but the best is to come back here and I guess stabilize the center pawn. So far though, the game is pretty equal. So these were good moves. That was not good though. I should have, or it was good, but it wasn't the best. Maybe I should have played here. That's excellent. What was the best? Rook F to B8. I guess that way you can push the pawn and control the open file at the same time. Still though, the game is equal, so where did I go wrong? This was my mistake, okay. So here I should have played, maybe I should have played here. I thought about that after I'd already moved my rook, no? Oh, I guess that loses this. Maybe just here? I have no idea. Here. Move the bishop back. Huh. So this was a mistake, and I should have played maybe here still. What's the idea of this? You just get your bishop onto a better square, I guess. Oh, that's smart. I should have tried to trade queens in a way that undoubles my pawns. I should have played here, shouldn't I have? Yeah. And actually, I would have been slightly ahead here. Why did I not go for this? Because I did not like my pawn structure here, but actually his pawn structure is arguably worse because I'm winning this pawn. So let's say I play here, then he comes here, I take, he comes here, then I could play, I don't know, check, his king comes here, I come over here, he takes this pawn, I take this pawn, and then he comes over here maybe, and I take that pawn, so that would have, I think that would have been a good endgame for me. I should have gone into it. So did I have a way to stop mate? Oh, I let him take the pawn, and then when I hide in the corner, he can't give mate here. I mean, it wants me to sack my queen for his knight, so I'm completely lost already. So what would I say is the main mistake here. Not trading queens, but I was losing, like, before he made that move, I was already losing. Where did it go wrong originally? Like here I'm only down very slightly. Here it's even. This seems to be the mistake. Interesting. I don't really understand why bishop f8 is so much better. That's interesting. Alright, well that was a good game. Let's save this. This was the Trumpowski